Rocking the knob up at Blue Knob today. Full marathon. Took home first overall with a time of like 4 hours and like 52 minutes, give or take a minute. I don't know what the official time was. I didn't get to look. It's got over 6,000 feet of gain and descent during the race. It's a big looped course, so it's not an out and back or none of that junk. Obviously with 6,000 feet it's pretty hilly, technical in some spots, not in some others. There's some access roads, some big rock garden type things, some boulders, some rock steps. Got a good solid mix of everything. It's supposed to be like 67,000 or 6,750 feet of gain plus, but I only got like 6 plus today, just because the way GPS and some of the hills that we go are like straight up, so it doesn't get the full-on signal. So yeah. Anyway, I took it home today. Should shore up my king of the mountain for the year. This will be being the last race of the series now. Pretty nice morning actually to run. Like 55 I think when we started. Got up to probably 70 some. I wouldn't say more than mid 70s, but now it's back down to like 65 again. So cool temps throughout the day. Perfect running weather, at least for like the first 3 hours. I don't know, I came in, well, I got like 4.5 actually hours of sleep last night. I actually got zoned in on the way, listening to some music, my normal hip-hop and rap mix, and then I put through in some Hillsong worship and Pentatronics as I got close. So I got nice and relaxed, zoned in, smiling, calm and relaxed. Trying to think how to start it. Yeah, I wear my 2XUs, my Peregrines calf sleeves, my 2X calf sleeves, my Golden Girls, Ultra Damn Gators. Wore my naked waist belt, which is awesome. As I said before, it really worked today. It's definitely my go-to hydration system over a pack. Actually put the 2 hard flasks, my Nathan hard flasks, in it today. Switched it around to the back, so they each had their pocket, but in the back. And then in the front I had my reusable cup and a couple of, I think I had 4 extra noon caffeine tablets. I think wild berry. Had a wrist sweatband in case I needed to wipe the sweat or use it for bathroom. Even had a wet wipe. So the pack wasn't too heavy, maybe 2 pounds, maybe 3 at the very most, whatever 18 ounces of liquid is, plus that disposable cup. So I ran pretty light with the temps. Kept me cool all day. There was a breeze once in a while that really rejuvenated me, which was awesome. I don't even think I really got ready until like 5 minutes till the race start. Showed up at 7:30, race was at 8, but I didn't finish getting ready, putting my bib and stuff on a couple minutes beforehand. I know I won by like 40 minutes, like 45 minutes, give or take. Some of the big heavy hitters didn't show up this year, which was nice because it let me run relaxed all race. I didn't have to redline. expel a bunch of energy, or, you know, push yourself where you blow up or end up tripping and hurting yourself. So that was kind of nice. At the start of the race, I'll get to, because it was like I was zoned in at the start of the race, and I know the way I was zoned in, I was just like, it's on all day long, you know, type feeling. But then like 2-3 tenths into the race, this dude was like sprinting ahead of me. I was just gonna let him do his thing and lead the way, and, you know, pay attention to flagging. Well, here he went the wrong way within like the first half mile of the race, which took me completely out of my zone because I got pissed off. I was like, are you serious? Like, you're not watching. Like, if you're gonna go and sprint at the beginning of the race, you need to know what you're doing and how to watch for flagging. Well, he didn't. It ended up costing me like 4/10 of a mile right off the start of the race. But luckily, I got back on track real quick, and then I ended up passing the whole damn field real quick within like 2 minutes. I was worried for about 2 miles because I didn't know if I was first or somebody else was still ahead of me until I met like road crossing, and they said, no, you're first. So I got a sense of relief then, but it kind of just threw me out of my zoned in mood. Which, you know, if I'm zoned in, I could run free all day long and have fun while running fast as shit. But since it threw me out, my pace dropped a little bit. But luckily, I kept my cool after I got back on track, because normally I just get so pissed off and aggravated for a couple miles and just burn up a bunch of energy. But I just said, at the beginning of the race, you're in the lead, just run your own race. That's what I did actually all race today. I just ran my own race. I had a couple updates from the guy who was videoing. Told me I had, I forget what aid station it was. Actually, I wrote them all on my arm today before the race, so I didn't have to remember them. Even though they're at the aid stations, I just wanted them on my arm so I could look down and start planning ahead all race. All right, if I'm going to drink enough from my bottles, if I'm going to drink enough here, I don't need to refill because it's only like 2-3 miles to the next one. But if it was like 4 or 5, all right, maybe I'm going to chuck all this and just refill it now type deal. So I wanted that knowledge on me all day long without having to fiddle with anything in my pockets. Came in really handy. I think I refilled my bottles twice, so I drank like water once, but it was only like half full. But the noon, 3 full bottles, so whatever 9 ounces of noon during the day. Plus at each aid station I would drink like 2 glasses of Tailwind, maybe chuck some ginger ale if they had it, a couple pickles here and there. Not at every aid station. Had a goldfish at one, some M&Ms at one. But I took watermelon, I think after the 3rd aid station maybe is when they started having it. So that was definitely my go-to. I like watermelon during ultras or even trail races. Well, today wasn't an ultra, it was a marathon per se, but it runs like an ultra. So it's actually, Rockin' the Knob's actually one of the top 10, I guess, on the East Coast, like marathon distance races. Definitely like #1 in PA. But yeah, I had the one Aaron Kleinman who was videoing, gave me a couple updates as he went from like aid station to aid station, videoing and catching different people. Like I had, when he first gave me an update, I had 6 minutes on second and like 8 on third. And then the next aid station, he said, now I have 10 minutes on like the second place. So then after that, I was like, I got this. I was like, gave me such a sense of release of pressure. I could run freely all day long. That way I didn't have to push and, you know, risk doing something stupid. Because it was hard to tell at sometimes. Like, some of the aid stations were cheering. I couldn't tell if somebody was coming in as I was going like up a hill or whatnot. So that was a little bit hard at times. I think like first 7 miles I did in under an hour. It's a little bit more runnable that first couple miles, so it's very reasonable. I know last year, shit, me and Lee were banging out 6-7 minute miles like the first 10, like working together. But we were also pushing the pace and burning ourselves up a little bit, which hurt us later in the race. This year I just ran so comfortably. I definitely could have knocked another half an hour of time off if I needed to, so I could have dropped like a 2:20, definitely a 2:30 if I was pushed or actually had to do my normal like running up the hills. I took the hills a lot easier this year. I got some sticks later in the race to go up some of the climbs, because that way I didn't have to have poles the whole race. I just used random sticks, just took pressure off my legs. I didn't start using them till maybe like 21, 22, wherever those hills are in that range. The uphills, not the downs. No, it's a hard course to describe, because there's definitely some changes this year compared to other years, and the terrain seemed different. I know a lot of, like, before, like the technical parts, like the big rocky like downhills, I kept waiting for, but they didn't come, because I think with all the rain and stuff, at least the first half of the race, the second half of the race is completely different. Like the washouts actually started filling in some of like the ruts that they had and like the big dips, so it became a little bit more runnable, which was nice. So you didn't have to worry about like tripping or getting your foot caught in anything. It's now like the washouts like smooth some of the course out. I think DCNR did a lot of work too to smooth out some of the stuff. To me at least, the first half of the race seemed a little bit more smoother, runnable than in the past, but maybe that's just my brain. But we did have a couple little course changes too. I would say actually maybe a dozen throughout the course, just because the way like the logging roads, or you know, trying to make it harder, tweak stuff here and there. Ran by myself all day long. Didn't have pressure. I didn't actually see another runner until Quitter's Row, which is like mile 20, which is near the finish. And those were just a couple of the half marathoners finishing. Now once I got out of like the Quitter's Row area, I didn't see another actual runner on the course until some of the 10Kers, probably like 2 miles left in the race. I didn't catch anybody until like then. So I pretty much ran alone all day long. Again, it was nice since I could just run my own race. There was a really long, I'd say around mile 15, there's an incline up a hill. It's a pretty good climb. It's probably the longest, not the steepest, but like the longest steady climb on the course, I would say. The springs and stuff were flowing pretty good. There's a couple nice little waterfalls. I wish I had my phone to take some pictures. It was pretty picturesque up there. I know the one photographer was like near the one waterfall, but I don't know what else, like what all he got pictures of or whatever. But I ran smart since I knew I had a nice gap. You know, running till my legs started to feel like they were burning on the uphills. Then I would stop, slow down until they could recover, and then do it again till again mount like 21, 22 when I use pull or sticks or whatever. Shit. It did fall at like mile 5. Luckily, I didn't get scraped up or anything. I think my palm took a nice hit, but there's no marks or anything on it. I just got dirty a little bit. Got a lot of spider webs today all over my body, all over my chest. I could feel them as I was so sweaty. Also my face. It was like at one point, like my vision was like a kaleidoscope with all the damn spider webs in my face. Like around the one eye, it was just like a kaleidoscope. Just like the light hitting off of them, and just, not that I had blurred vision, it was just the way the spider webs were hitting me. Didn't get annoying after a while. Yeah, the rock stairs, I did take it easy as well because I didn't want to trip going up or down them, like the different couple ones. You know, playing it smart. I know when I made it to 17, I mean, I was still fresh. I was fresh all day long. Felt good all day long. My legs felt good. My body felt good. Mentally, I did check in and out a few times just because I was getting, I don't want to say bored, but just not having any interaction with people except for at the aid station. I was just like, this is so horrible. So I guess I could say I was bored a little bit. Just not having any interaction. Because usually, I forget what aid station it is. It's the one that's like under a pavilion. That's usually like a half mile after that. It's usually when I run into like the half marathoners, like coming from behind me, full force. I know like AJ Kelly last year after that one, you know, like passed us all up as he was flying through the half course. So I was expecting that, and that never happened this year. Yeah, but 17, right after 17, I took a nice pee as I was coming by like the ski resort itself, as I was eating some watermelon. Then the stupid ski slopes came, which are actually a lot rougher this year because their washouts were fresh, so they were actually ruddy. So you just had to be careful what side you ran on, and just make sure you didn't actually go in like the ditch of the washouts. But again, I pulled back, so I didn't. I think the middle part, I had a little bit of rough go of it because my feet, like the grass or the ground itself, was a little slick. So as we were running down the hill, I just kept like slipping. Luckily, I didn't fall. Got to the new ski slope that we climb up that was instituted last year, which is basically all out in the sun. Took me like 4 minutes to get up it this year, maybe 4.5. But I looked back and there was nobody coming yet, which again gave me a pretty good sense of relief, because that would have been about 19-ish, give or take. So with like a 4+ minute lead there, I felt confident because I had enough reserves if I needed them, which was sort of my plan all day long, save it for the 10K finish, well, which is the 10K course that the 10Kers do, because I know it sucks. Trying to think. Or no, actually I did use pulls a little bit earlier before Quitter's Row, going up the one hill that's like all gravelly, big chunky rocks with like saplings. I did use it on that, just playing it smart, you know, trying to keep my legs as fresh as possible. But when I came right before Quitter's Row, like 2/10, somebody, I know who it is, she told me afterwards, there was a caution tape across the trail, like completely blocking me off. So that meant, like, anywhere else in the race, that meant don't cross it, you're going the wrong way, whatever. I'm standing there, I'm like, well, I know I came the right way. I was like, this has to be the right way. And I could see, like, X's, yellow X's, and across this yellow tape and stuff like that. Then a couple said wrong way, whatever, and I saw how, like, the half was supposed to go, and I'm like, well, where the hell am I supposed to go? But I knew I had to get to the the Quitters Row area, which is back at, like, the start finish area. So I knew I had to get to where I had to get to, but I wasn't sure right away if I was going the right way. But again, there was nowhere else to go, but that caution tape threw me for a loop, cost me like 30 seconds there. But in the end, it was the right way for me to go. So I'm glad I went the right way and didn't get DQ'd for it. But I guess the tape was supposed to be removed, but it didn't get removed before I came through. But when I got to Quitters Row, I told Leslie and Jeff, who were at that aid station, about it. Because I was like, because it is confusing. So if you don't know the course, somebody's going to get confused and, not know what to do or possibly go the wrong way. So I don't know if they told somebody and it got taken care of, but I guess some kids went down and fixed it. So that's kind of cool for everybody else. Even though somebody dropped the ball on that. Throw her under the bus a little bit. Because she did tell me she dropped the ball on that. Anyway, then the Quitters Row, which is, whatever, like 20 miles into the race. Leslie and Jeff said about B's being about a mile into the 10K course, which was like, shit, I don't want to deal with that. Really don't. So for actually the next 2 miles, I pretty much tiptoed around the trail on the 10K course, which I hate the 10K course. It's so much harder and such more bullshit than the rest of the course. I think Med and them, Mark and them would agree that they like the hardness of it. But because I'm looking for these bees, I was like, yeah, I don't want to get stung and then it be ruin my race or whatever, have a weld or have a reaction or anything. So I pulled my headphones off, sort of went silent. I controlled my breathing, so I wasn't really making any noise. Like, I was basically making sure my feet were landing so softly. My pace slowed from whatever I was running, like we'll say like at 8-9 minutes, probably to like 12-13 at the time, just so I didn't disturb them, or I had at least that if I could see them, then I could stop in time and I'll get stung. But I never actually encountered them, luckily. I guess I didn't step where they were at. I guess they were at right at the end of one road cross, like right before a road crossing. So that did cost me probably between 6 and 12 minutes in those 2 miles, just from going so slow. But at the same time, there's a lot of, we'll say, switchbacks or turning in those couple miles. So you really have to be on your A game and pay attention to where you're going, because you definitely can get lost or off course pretty quickly. Because again, it's just like left, right, turn left, turn right, turn left, left, turn another right. Like, it's, to see it, you would understand what I mean. But it's sort of designed that way. I got through that. After 2 miles, I turned it back on a little bit. Then we hit some more road, which, well, I'd say a mile. So it's probably like 3 miles of like switchbacks or more trail before you actually hit some road. but it's like a downhill, long downhill, like 700 feet downhill with like 4 or 5 different switchbacks to get to the last aid station. And it just kills me every year. Like it kills my calves, just that downhill then, and they're just so long and daunting. Because my legs were actually fresh until then. They started to burn up a little bit after that. But I managed. Trying to think. Then, yeah, hit that last aid station. I was still feeling pretty good. I told them I felt good. Climbed up the hill using, you know, it took me probably like 40 yards to find some sticks to use to climb the rest of the way up. Switched out at one point some longer ones because the ones I first grabbed were shorter, but that was good because the hill's so steep you almost have to be on all fours. So the shorter ones were like picture like a praying mantis climbing up the hill. So give me like a praying mantis up a hill type feel. Then I held the sticks for probably the next 2 miles till we leveled back off, because there's like 4 or 5 different hills in that 2-mile section. There's some flat, I don't know if there's, you really want to call any downhill. I think there's one more downhill, but it's pretty much all uphill after that last aid station. Just a little bit of level here or there. More so where that one vehicle that some idiot last year robbed some lady or something like that and drove on some kind of backcountry road and smashed the vehicle, and now it just sits because they can't get it out. Yeah, the 2 of the hills were pretty technical towards the end, which just sucks. But you know it's coming because you need to get to that 6,000 feet plus gain. And when you start the 10K, you're really only like, I think my watch was like 38 or 41 or something like that. I don't know. Whatever number it was, but you still got like 1,500 to 2,000 that last like 2 miles to get. So pretty significant. But I sort of knew I had it. Actually, after that newer ski slow, as long as I didn't do nothing stupid, but I didn't want to get cocky and say it was in the bag, because again, my, you know, could have got an upset stomach, had to get out of the bathroom, got a headache, and some, you know, nutrition could have been off. So you just never know, with as hard as the race is, what's going to happen. What else tidbits? I know I stuck around, and the very last person came in at 5 o'clock, so I stayed an extra 4+ hours today. Just bullshitting, hanging out with people, networking, all that fun stuff. You know, it's just such a nice crowd. It's fun to do that. Hear other people's takes as well as giving mine, of course. I don't mind the course. I just say it's sucky because it's just so hard. Well, I hate the 10K course. I always hated it because I just know it's full of bullshit and hardness. But that's what it's all about, you know, to challenge yourself. And I know why they do it. They're a little sadistic. But again, I feel pretty good right now. Gonna use some more food here in a little bit. Nice shower. Did rinse myself off a few times today. Not as much as I normally would, but again, it wasn't as hot, and I wasn't as pushing as much as normal. So that played a huge factor. But it did feel nice, because even like stopping the wash off just kicked in the sweat factor a little bit and cooled the body down. Well, it let it actually like cool itself down, so it was like a cold shower a little bit at times. Damn it. I know I'm going to think of a lot more stuff later. That's why I'm babbling a lot. But that 2 miles with the bees, like every little stick or log or rocket I thought was like stepped on, because you could see, like a rock, you could see it was like shifted a little bit, or like a log or a stick that we were jumping over. I gave that hesitation each time to make sure I wasn't going to, disturb anything. I don't know. I guess nothing more to speak of. I just wish I could have kept the zone earlier in the race or throughout the race. Not that I would have kept it the whole race, but just using it, because like I know when I got back on track and I was just blasting through people, and I wasn't trying to be rude to anybody, but I didn't have time to play around, stick behind anybody, because I didn't so early in the race, I didn't know if anybody took off the right way. It was a head that I had to chase down, so there was that like urgency that I just can't be pissing around being polite. I just jetted around everybody in like one streamline. I guess there was other issues. Somebody lost a phone. Buddy lost blew up his water bottle because he fell. Little things like that in that first mile. So it was a little bit of a hijinks type first mile for everybody when we got through it. Seemed like everybody, for the most part, nobody got seriously hurt today or really did any damage. So that's nice. Everybody goes home healthy, except for a few people that did get stung by bees. Seemed like it was more people that were in groups than individuals. Maybe making just too much noise and they zoned in on them. Felt like my nutrition was on point today. Doing the couple things of tailwind, the ginger ale and stuff like that. I just knew what my body needed at the time. Probably could have used a little bit more caffeine in my body to keep me going. But I didn't really drink anything until shit. 7 miles, that first aid station. I held off pretty much drinking anything until then. So it was a little conservative, but I usually don't drink nothing to 10. But I knew today I should drink more early on to stay ahead of things. So that's why I drank more at like probably aid station 7 miles, whatever that was, than I normally would. I guess that's just my mindset. I was waiting for somebody to come up on me all day long. Because I did lose a little bit of time on some of the hills just because I took it easy. I was like, somebody's going to start coming into view behind me just because I'm being so lackadaisical, playing it safe instead of being aggressive. The slight downhills did feel real nice today. I really got the speed going. The deeper, more inclined downhills just kicked my ass. But guess that's about it that I can think of at the moment. But again, it was just nice to see everybody, hang out with everybody, and see everybody come in today. Oh, the course was flagged pretty good. I didn't get lost, so obviously I thought it was good. But it was marked pretty good for my liking today. So I'm happy with that. Alright, I'm done now. The hell with it. But yeah, the trail runners did do a good job, as they normally do. I guess I sort of expect it now, because that's just the races they put on. You expect the quality race when you sign up for one of theirs, and today was no different. So there's that. All right, that's it.